I think we all knew going into the finale that Luz was going to get some type of final form transformation, but I don't think any of us were prepared for how badass it would be. But you know Owl House and Amphibia fans, as soon as Titan Luz was revealed, people immediately started comparing her to Calamity Ann. And I mean, you can't really blame them considering how much these two shows mirror one another. My problem with the comparison is that, well, as cool as Titan Luz was, compared to Calamity Ann, she didn't really do much. Titans were hyped up to be the gods of this world, with powers that could rival the crazy shit we saw from the Collector. And while what we did get was incredible, I wouldn't say it could compare to some of the things we saw the Collector do throughout the series. So in this video, I plan to try and rectify some of Titan Luz's shortcomings while also theorizing on how powerful she has the potential to become. So, just how OP could Titan Luz get? Well, let's talk about it.
Fall.
So, what did we see Titan Luz do? Well, her best feats that I can think of are using Titan magic to reverse Belos' infection over the Boiling Isles, flying into the atmosphere in about 20 seconds, then diving back down into the heart of the Emperor's castle without sustaining any damage, and then being strong enough to rip Belos off of the Titan's heart. And for the story that was being told, I think her powers were displayed perfectly. We only run into an issue when we try to compare her feats to Ann's and realize there isn't really a comparison to be made. To put it simply, Luz ripped a dying guy off of the heart of a giant monster that he was going to use to kill at most a state worth of people. And on the other hand, stopped the moon from crashing into and destroying an entire planet. I think the stakes would even themselves out had Ann hacked into the core or ripped it off the moon, but no. She destroyed an entire celestial body by herself. Albeit she needed all 3 stones and it killed her, but that doesn't change the fact that Luz's best feats can't compare to Ann's. And the funny thing is, it really shouldn't be that way. While at first, a monster the size of Vermont threatening an island of people, and an artificial hive mind with control over an entire moon with the capability to destroy an entire planet might not seem like equal threats, once you realize that the previously mentioned monster has canonically went to war with characters stronger than the Collector, the threat levels start to even themselves out. So, if these two threats are more even than they seem, why doesn't it appear that way? Well, it all comes down to a little thing I like to call the Titan problem. In the series finale, both Luz and Belos gain access to the Titan's powers, and neither one of them showcased their full potential. Now of course they didn't gain full control over his powers, but still, they didn't do much with it, especially Belos. He, as the main villain, was the perfect person to demonstrate how intimidating Titans were, but he was killed off before he could use the Titan to stand up. And while I'm glad he didn't, as I'm sure it would have caused countless casualties, at least it would have shown how dangerous the Titans can be. Instead, we're stuck in a situation where a giant rock seems like a bigger threat than a literal god. That is the Titan problem. So, how do we rectify this? How do we show how powerful the Titan really is? Well, he did choose Luz as a vessel, so let's make Titan Luz even stronger, starting by upgrading her arsenal. Other than glyph magic, which I'll get into, the only Titan powers we actually see Luz use are a force field and sonic scream. The force field allowed her to tank up fall from the atmosphere, so it's already pretty powerful. As for the scream, we don't see it do much other than pierce through Belos' spreading infection, but we know it has the potential to do some real damage. Just look at what King did to the finger of a full-size Titan that was practically as tall as a mountain. I haven't done the math, but just imagine how much bigger that thing is compared to King. Now imagine how much damage a full-grown Titan could do to something that much bigger than it. I wouldn't be surprised if they had the potential to destroy planets. Now just imagine what Luz would do with all that power. As far as glyph magic goes, not only was Titan Luz able to effortlessly use glyph magic with the help of String Bean, but it also seemed that those cool glyph symbols that hovered around her were more than just cosmetic. I theorized that her Titan form gives her the power/knowledge to make possibly infinite glyph combinations. She even seems to use an unknown glyph combo to enhance her strength in order to be able to rip Belos off of the Titan. Pretty ironic seeing as how it's implied that Belos attempted a similar trick in the past, and well, we know how that went. Next up, I want to talk about Fire Breath. Now while that might seem random considering we've never seen King or Luz use this ability, we have seen Belos utilize it in his dragon form. And considering Belos was only able to use this power and this form after obtaining the power of the Titan, I think it counts as a Titan power. And if you still feel this is kind of out of place, Titans using Fire Breath was hinted at in one of the collector's murals, so it's kind of already canon. Lastly, I want to talk about portal magic. While we have seen a bit of portal magic from characters like Ida and the Collector, we've never directly seen or heard of a Titan using portal magic. That being said, like most extremely powerful spells, Titan's blood is the only known substance that can power interdimensional travel. Not to mention, the Titan's eye was confirmed to be on the portal door. That, along with the fact that after the Titan died, he was sent to a dimension in between dimensions, leads me to believe that the Titans have some form of innate ability to travel across dimensions on command. Now obviously this is just speculation, but we don't have much to go off of with the Titans in the first place, so I just think it's fun to speculate on some of their powers that we never got to see and apply them to Luz. So, I just pitched a fire-breathing planet buster with the ability to shift between different dimensions, has access to unlimited glyph combos, and has the strength, power, and durability of a god that has gone toe-to-toe with characters more powerful than the Collector. Now that's a final form worth debating over. Now all we need is a continuation of the Owl House to see these abilities shown off. But while we're waiting on that, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. And let me know down in the comments if you're interested in a follow-up video where I theorize on how Luz could get her Titan powers back in a potential continuation of the Owl House. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you when I see you.